Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Upper left hand corner we've got Artosis starting as the Midnight Blue Terran. Bottom right hand corner we've got Kaido starting as the Red Zerg. I do believe, I'm trying to think what the MMR around this time period. I think Artosis was around 2200. I believe Kaido was around 23 or 2400. So this is the true test. The 2400, is it real? Is the 2400 Zerg real? Also, there's Striker right around the corner who's 2400, 2500 as well. Both very good players. On Neo Dark Origin once again, so part of the Neo Dark Origin lounge. This is also the last replay I've got as part of this pack. The rest are on Artosis' main cast. And again, I think after this one, maybe I should do it right now. You'll have a little bit of darkness while I Alt-Tab and make this happen, so apologies for that on screen, but it's early stages of the game. But this is what the bracket looks like overall, if you guys want to get like a pause and a screenshot of it to make the YouTube playlist. Appreciate anybody who manages to do that. Or I can just give the challenge link, which, hold on, let me make that happen. Which is this right here, and then you can just look at bracket and go from here. It's a little bit challenging because of how everything cycles around. Anyway, don't look too closely though, because there's spoilers there in case you didn't see it. But hopefully you guys want to see the game overall. And sorry for the black screen briefly, but for a good cause, right? Theoretically. Theoretically, I can count on someone. I should name a name. I should look for a commentator, or for that comment, for someone that leaves a comment and be like, you're the one. Do it. Anyway, looks like we're seeing an early hatchery from Kaido, bottom left. Artosis starting to scout out. I do think that despite... I actually feel like this is a Zerg favored map. Kaido... I know he's a very good player. I don't know much about his Mutalist micro or style of play overall. Looks like he grabbed a 205 gas. So very likely going to go towards that 2-hatch Mutalist play. Again, I mentioned in the previous match versus Striker that Mutalists are very abusive on this map. We'll see if Artosis has an answer for it overall, but troop movement can be a big challenge on this map overall. And I think, yeah, actually I feel like I love this map in particular for... I like it for PvP, PvT, but I do see where it can be somewhat challenging for Terran versus Zerg here. And I think you have to get creative as Terran on this map overall, so it'll be a challenge for Artosis, although I do think... I'm not sure if he'd agree or not, but I feel like his versus Zerg is his strongest matchup. I'd have to look at statistics as far as where he's... I wonder if I could do that, actually. Go up and find a website where it's got like a... I'm sure someone's got like a big Artosis replay analysis thing going on, saying what his strongest matchup was, considering how often he streams and all of the... Anyway. Additional command center. I think after just a single Marine on the front. Might have even been before any Marines. I think he... Yeah, I think if I spotted this correctly... No, never mind. Looks like it was 2 Marines before command center. Let me actually talk about the game instead of showing you guys brackets and whatever not. SCV getting chased down by 2 Zerglings, but it does have the layer timing, so let's see if it retreats or if it wants to hang out and get a good look at the saturation of drones in the natural expansion. Gonna see that on its way out. Single SCV being sneaky along this left-hand side. And are we gonna see something, a proxy build? Or is this just going to be a delayed scout to make sure that no shenanigans are being pulled? I don't think this is delayed scout. No, it's a delayed scout from Artosis, sneaking in underneath. Oh, he's going for something very sneaky here. So some Marines out on the front, looking to engage. Nope. For a second there, I thought he was going to try to move the Marines all the way across, maybe do a bunker, catch the Zerglings out of position by surprise, but going for an off-timing attack instead. While that Spire's constructing to force a lot of Zerglings out, here a little bit early. Second gas being grabbed. Going to go ahead and retreat the rest of the Marines, but he has managed... So there's 6 Zerglings and some additional Zerglings were built right there. Second gas up in operation as well. Let's see if that throws off the timing of the initial handful of Mutalisks. I don't think so, though. It looks like we got 2 barracks in construction. An academy about halfway finished. Engineering bay just dropping. I'll be interested to see with that move out and a little bit of delay in the micro if Artosis still hit the timing. Overall, I think he did, as far as a follow-up, but I like that little bit of extra pressure to try to force fewer SCV. SCV trying to chew away a little bit of minerals and getting taken out otherwise. The Zerglings pressing towards that front. Artosis responding with a bunker preventatively. He is going to tack on a third barracks, recognizing that it looks like the 2 racks push isn't going to happen. Wants to have a few more Marines to filter in, and I think the additional Marines are necessary. Again, considering how abusive Mulisks can be on this map. Looks like there is place to build turrets at least in the back corner, but Kaido actually gathering up a lot of these Zerglings. Is going to go ahead and plop down a hatchery bottom left, but I'm wondering if he's going to make a shot at that natural expansion. If I was Artosis, I would certainly think so, saying, okay, you got Zerglings right out there, so I need to be a little bit wary. 2 medics in place, missile turrets being filtered out as the Mutalisks are making their way. It looks like it is going to be the complement of 5. So enough to be a threat. Comsat station dropping as well. And so Artosis probably going to play very, very defensively, get his Marine count higher and healthier until he gets +1 weapon range and stim completed. I think stim just completed. The Mutalisks chewing up a little bit of damage in between. And it looks like we've got at least, let me try to highlight all of these Mutalisks all together. We've got at least 7 Mutalisks out in the forward field, trying to peck away at that supply depot along the corner. You can see how annoying this aggression can be. Artosis doesn't want to engage, is just going to sacrifice that supply depot rather than risk exposure of his Marines. That does put him in the red for the moment. Now stimming that the Mutalisks going a little bit deeper. One of them actually on trail, it looks like, got wiped out. That wasn't part of the control grouping. So decent hit. This is the part where Kaido doesn't want to over-dedicate Mutalisks. If he does, ends up delaying Hive Tech all the further, and it looks like he did tack on an additional 4, so wants to get aggressive, but went with +1 armor rather than +1 weapons as far as a follow-up. So mostly worried about Artosis' ability to flood units following things up, leaving a couple of the Mutalisks at main base currently. Moving in a couple Scourge as well. A little bit early here. I'm curious with Scourge. I wonder if he was expecting maybe Valkyrie play on this map, and so just moving up to check things out. We've got a pile of the 3 turrets here. Potentially misread the situation, wanted to take out an early Valkyrie. Was expecting something along those lines, given the nature of the map, but Artosis instead hitting that standard factory timing, and I think he's going to go for the double starport to follow. Yeah, so Kaido actually hiding the Scourge underneath was, I think he was expecting a Valkyrie build, and then now not finding it. Single starport dropped. I'm looking to see if the second starport out on the main. Bottom left up, but delayed mining of that gas. Hydralis Den and Queen's Nest in the bottom left. And it was interesting because I don't know that Kaido, so he might have been able to sneak away with skipping the Hydralis Den here. Although, considering how powerful lurkers are on the ramps, maybe wise to have them in your belt regardless. Good to have the option. In the meantime, Kaido dangerously close in supply. But once that first Irradiate drops on all of these, on this big ball of Mutalisk, game could open right back up. Artosis, those are the first few Marines that I think Artosis has lost at this stage. Now that he's got those upgrades in his belt, bullying forward, able to pick off 1 Mutalisk right there and weaken several others. Kaido having trouble microing over that edge. One gonna go ahead and split off, but this is a lot of Mutalisks that he's dedicated. I think this is gonna slow down Hive Tech considerably. Yeah, he's just now getting up to Hive. So despite getting a good amount of Marine kills, and I think he does have that +1 Carapace to support, Irradiate is on its way. And this is way, way before. He still might be in it just because this is the map that it is. And these bridges are very, very abusable with the Mutalisk, but with that, Kaido needs to keep them healthy so that they can provide that defense and that time cushioning. Because, okay, so Queen's Nest, a ways from finishing. Another hatchery being dropped macro-wise bottom left. Kaido at 36 workers, but now with the initial science vessels getting constructed and the medic marines actually starting to pile out. Kaido looking for attacks along that backside, able to get a few SCVs, but should be worried about Artosis' move out here. Yeah. Does have, it looks like 3 lurkers on the front, a lot of additional lurkers, and again, this is a lot of gas that is going into not defilers. So it's going to be really important for Kaido. A couple of Marines getting stranded here. It's going to be really important for Kaido to pick off initial science vessels. Losing those 2 Scourge not going to help towards that effort. Artosis hunting down some lurkers. Kaido also on the red, losing an Overlord somewhere in between. Lurkers repositioning. But Artosis has managed to get mid-map. Supply count's actually still scarily close. It looks like a couple medics gonna get micro picked off here as well. As science vessels barreling. Need to be very, very careful. Get a big irradiate. Good split from Kaido as their second irradiate to deal with what's left. The Mutalisk, the single Mutalisk that was irradiated split fairly effectively. That has softened up everything that remains. A couple fire bats here as well. And I'm looking for the... Okay, we do have the Defiler mound, but where are the Defilers right this second? Not seeing a lot of Defilers out in the field. And with some decent micro, Artosis might be able to... Yeah, getting a good surround and spread with this army. And with the Mutalisks already weakened, able to pick off a good portion of what's left of Kaido's army. And he's got a good 6 barracks behind this to refill that army count very, very quickly. Kaido being a little bit over-reliant on the architecture. The Mutalisk flying right over some Marines, getting picked off. And how much health do we have left between the two of them? 40 health? Another base being grabbed from Kaido to get that 4th gas up at the 3 o'clock location. Artosis finding the last 2 Mutalisks. A couple Zerglings flooding forward, but now, honestly, I don't know that there's any... How many... So we got Lurkers at the natural. We've got a few Lurkers bottom left, but this is completely unprotected by Defilers right this second. Because so much gas... Okay, finally 2 Defilers out here, because so much gas consumed, very delayed. A lot of gas went into padding those Lurkers and padding those Mutalisks that were now wiped out across the field. And Artosis is dangerously close to Kaido's base. Irradiate going to hit 1 Defiler. Is he going to get the second one? One advantage, again, is there's, yeah, multiple these bridge locations. Artosis has to be very careful around them. Swarming, trying to spread the units out. Looks like he might lose this army as well. Losing some science vessels to the Hydralisks. Kind of interesting style of play from Kaido as well. So 2 Lurkers getting dropped right there, still holding the bridge. Yeah, this is the additional problem now, is how do you... Now that Kaido has Lurkers, now that he has the Hydralisks, and he has the Defilers, is how do you get across this bridge to deny this 4th gas? Huge challenge. 20 supply buffer to work with for Artosis. He's got 6 science vessels. Lurkers not burrowing on move command. Finally, I think Kaido got caught off guard as far as the positioning of Artosis' army right that second. Single drone waiting to maybe grab the 3 o'clock. As well. Few shots here. Hydralisks. Not going to trade very well heads up right this second. It looks like they do have that +1 Carapace though. Dark Swarm working to Artosis' advantage right there because the Hydralisks don't damage Marines underneath, so it ends up with a kind of a detente underneath it. But that army starting to sweep dangerously close to this bottom left. And I don't see any Lurkers down here. No Lurkers, just Zerglings. So Artosis has a free army bottom left. Just Hydralisk spawning and no Defilers nearby. It looks like the Lurker's trailing with some Defilers. How much damage is he going to get done with this? Trying to blockade the ramp. The Lurker's there to go ahead and clean that up. Not a lot of drones getting taken out. Some Irradiates being dropped. Will the Science Vessels make their way out, though? 3 Science Vessels remaining. Might be able to erase her trick, but they gotta pull out before the Hydralisks clean them up. 1 down. 2 down. Huge win there for Kaido. Able to protect bottom left. Needs to get this 4th gas up and running, though. More Marines making their way out and a slew of dropships in between. I was wondering where the additional science vessels were for Artosis. Instead, going to get... Oh, this is a doom drop. Lurker's way out of position. I don't know if that got scouted. That 3 o'clock base going to get... Or that Yeah, so the 4 o'clock base is going to get interrupted before the gas is launched, and Kaido has the problem now where he's out of Mutalisks and needs to engage at 2 locations. Fortunately for him, some of his tech is bottom left, but losing some drones, gas getting cut off, which is absolutely critical, and I don't see a Defiler anywhere nearby. Looks like the Lurker's able to clean up the attack at the 3 o'clock. Defiler mound, if that drops, huge problems for Kaido. Spire gone. And is that Evolution Chamber wasn't upgrading anything, but is going to delay, so a huge drop from Artosis, able to cripple Kaido. Might get the spawning pool as well, leaving some troops drawing back, looking to re-engage. The Fire Bat blockading, so 4 Marines going to work on that spawning pool. Looks like this is going to get cleaned up, so Kaido holds the spawning pool, but more Marines and medics moving out. The science vessel count regenerated. And still a lot pumping for Artosis. He has also grabbed that 9 o'clock base. Some Zerglings surging that direction. Looks like some troops, again, without Defiler support, going to end up engaging the Medic Marines mid-map. +2 weapons, but no armor upgrade as of yet for those Marines. Lurker able to burrow top left. Comsat right there. And it looks like a few SCVs get wiped out, but that could have been a lot worse. Overall, 20 supplies still working. Dropship still hovering over that corner. Looks like some... Oh, Artosis needs to protect these dropships. Hydralisk pushing up. Kaido in a pretty good position. So he's got that 4th gas up. He still has a drone at the 9 o'clock to potentially grab that. He's actually even in workers. So in a good position to pull this out. But he's kept that science vessel count low, which has been absolutely fantastic. But right now... Okay, we'll see. You've got a Lurker. I still don't see the Defiler defense, and that bottom left potentially under assault again. A dropship also looking to make a 2-pronged attack here at the 3 o'clock. Maybe shut down gas there and engage at some other location. Zerglings are going to spot the army, unfortunately get expended as they're making their way across. Single Hydralisk there as well. And while Kaido's distracted, loses the hatchery bottom right. I didn't realize how much damage was inflicted in the previous engagements. Kaido in a world of trouble now, losing that 4th gas. He's still got a lot of minerals bottom left, but that gas was huge and keeping him in the match. All of a sudden, sub 40 supply bottom left at risk. The Zerglings might be able to peel in and clean that up. See if the Fire Bat's able to get in there and make something happen. I think this is going to spark a counterattack from Kaido, moving a lot of Lurkers. There's a science vessels on a bit of a troop to engage it. Mostly it looks not a very well gathered army though from Artosis. Let's see if he's able to engage and protect that 9 o'clock. Does have an army, but it's completely out of position, so Kaido looks like he is going to be able to get some damage done in retribution, clearing out the 9 o'clock. A lot of these SCVs dying and blowing up. Army still sitting here bottom left from Artosis. Not getting aggressive. A couple... Command center not yet lifted. There's nothing in the bunker. A couple of radiates dropped to try to clean that up. And Zergling's retreating, so Kaido buying himself some time. Might be able to re-grab that 4th base, but his main is starting to get low on gas. And it looks like that 3rd actually depleted. Defended Fire Bat and some... should say shielded Fire Bat, trying to work on the Defiler mound, now moving in, trying to kill that Defiler. An emergency Dark Swarm drop, but not on top of the Marines, unfortunately. It looks like Artosis was able to lift that command center and clear out the Lurkers at his 3rd, but that Fire Bat with 10 kills. In the meantime, bottom left, and Dark Swarm does not protect buildings, so that Defiler mound goes down. So no more Defilers for some time, which is going to make it very challenging to evict what's left. Counterattacks up towards the natural expansion. Looks like some latent Defilers still there, but not a lot for Kaido to try to win it with. Does manage to get a single Lurker, 2 Hydras. Again, the Hydras and actually going to die to the Fire Bats. It's working against the Hydras right there. And that was the last Lurker, and Artosis has moved up the ramp, is swarming bottom left. It looks like he's going to actually take that out. Is going to be able to hold at his natural expansion. Eventually this Dark Swarm or Irradiate is going to be able to clean this up. That's the last Defiler for quite some time. So 3 o'clock, that 3 o'clock base still hasn't been re-grabbed from Kaido. Science vessel count remaining solid. Looks like Lurkers again able to disrupt. They're both players. This is turning into an absolute fist fight. Both players sub 30 workers. Kaido down to effectively 2 bases, his main and his natural. And Artosis with double the supply, pressing forward to finish things. Doesn't have to worry about Dark Swarm, still has a Radiate to work with. Kaido gonna GG, recognizing that's just too much. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That was, again, the last match. I'm gonna remember to show the bracket here. I should have done this beforehand and not maybe pause the video. But here is the bracket for people that want to see it. There's the link if you want to try to make a playlist. The rest of the games on Artosis' main channel. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.